Hello everyone, this is Esther. Winter is a notoriously bittersweet time for me to hibernate and to contemplate my life. During this season, I meditate more than usual. As well, I often curl up on the couch with a blanket and I do a lot of reading. I've read 2 books since Christmas already, and I'm in the process of reading 2 more. I usually have a couple of books on the go at any given time. Avid reader. Plus, I have 2 more books in queue. Next thing I know, it will be spring. While delving into The Wild Edge of Sorrow, that's a book by Francis Weller, I'm facing my own various heartaches. I especially resonated with several points in chapter 8 of the book. Sorrow is described as having the potential to be a fearful thing to contemplate. But bear with me here, because it brought me to a new place in viewing my own lifetime of religiously induced grief. I came to realize that my grief, that of being treated as dead even while alive, might never end in this lifetime. Yeah, what a thought. I don't think it could end, unless my children leave the family's religious cult. Even if I were to go back to the Watchtower religion of Jehovah's Witnesses, I'd keep grieving, maybe even worse. My soul would grieve my betrayal of self. Oh, don't worry, soul. I'll not ever go back. I just couldn't do that to myself. But I had to put it out there so you'll know that I was thinking what I was thinking. I have to think of, the good and the not good. Sadly, the possibility of my children leaving the religion is slim, knowing the hold the cult has on its members. Then again, if I were able to extricate myself from that religion, they could too, when and if their soul called them to do, not before. Any sign of softening their rigid stance is yet to be seen by me. Hasn't happened. There's a saying by J.M. Barrie in The Little Minister: "Let no one who loves be called altogether unhappy. Even love unreturned has its rainbow." I kind of like that saying, because love in itself is a gift. The ability to love is a gift. That being said, reading this book softens my grief into a tender melancholy. This sadness will be an ongoing reminder of my bittersweet time of unrequited love for my children. Both my adult son and daughter shun me because I left that religion. "We can't speak to you unless you come back to Jehovah," is the religious rule spoken by rote via shunners, time and again. Time and again. During my meditations, an insight came as a surprise to me. My personal anguish actually keeps my children in my world. Who knew? Curiously, I still see them in my dream time. They don't shun me there. My night world has become a sacred time of darkness and mystery. I have befriended that blackness. I am open to it helping me to let go of the physical world and safely associate with my beloved children when they appear. There is where I realize my own vulnerability and mortality as well. With this new perspective, I'm able to examine the way I'm living the life I have right now. I realize that life with my children in the physical is impossible at this time. I remind myself that many years have gone by since I last knew them in their later teen years. They're not the same loving children anymore. They are hardened by severe religious indoctrination and the ongoing order to shun me. Even if they were to leave the religion, I'd need to exercise caution. They'd have to deconstruct their beliefs, as well as purge the harmful and hateful beliefs in which they were indoctrinated. Until that happens, I'm truly grateful for the ever-deepening love I experience now with my beloved partner. He is the most empathetic person I've ever met or have had the privilege to know and love. That's really special. If I had stayed in the family religion, I would have missed out on the greatest love of my life. I'm in my new space now because that's where I choose to live. It's the one and only place I wish to be. Anyway, I get to analyze myself and my life's circumstances at night while I lay awake. Sometimes I can't sleep. At these times, I might bask in the pitch-black room, or I may turn on the light and start journal writing. I ponder the questions. Because my children shun me, am I actively participating in my life at the present time? Or am I looking back too much? Am I keeping myself immune to the ways this life can touch and change me, the life I have right now? And this is not in spite of being shunned, but because of being shunned. Do things ever stay the same? No. Circumstances change all the time, don't they? Friendships end, job is deleted, an accident happens, health concerns arise, somebody dies, always something. Do we choose to live small, to protect ourselves from these unknowns? Or do we willingly release something we've outgrown so as to enter a larger encounter with being alive? Sometimes our soul asks us to shed our old life, a death of sorts, for something better. Perhaps my soul aches to touch this bittersweet time and place. It seems loss and grief have the potential to initiate me into more fully enveloping myself into my amazing world. I bless my opportunity to be alive. I don't want to live a half-life. Instead, I wish to embrace my life fully, including the entire range of feelings and emotions. Yes, even the less pleasant ones, such as grief and sorrow. Even the ones that challenge me to my core. Now I think of life without my old false friends and judgmental family members as pruning dead branches off a tree. My tree of life will be healthier if I tend to this vital task. It will appear more attractive as well. New shoots might even sprout from those pruned spaces. That sounds pretty appealing. From death to life. When I finally do leave this world, I wish to have lived all of my dreams. To disengage by cowering into an unlived life might yield perhaps the deepest grief I would never wish to encounter. My soul yearns to love, to dance, to write, to paint, to draw, to plant my garden, to watch it grow, to harvest it, to create and play music. Sometimes I wake up with music in my head. I sing it into my recorder so that I might do something with it. I write out the scales and then I add new layers. Sometimes I even receive lyrics with the tunes. So if you wish, feel free to share what your dreams are about for this life. While I was reading the book, I thought of a saying: to plumb the depths of grief is to claim its wisdom. I'll leave a link below to where I posted all of this, and there's some related reading there also about getting disfellowshipped and being shunned. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.